With the iPhone 17 dropping, a lot of people are asking me, can you flip the older iPhones for profit? The answer is yes. And in this video, I'm going to tell you guys exactly how this phone drop is going to be a game changer for the phone flipping community. Now, of course, what happens when the new iPhone drops, people are going to be running to get upgrades. Now, let's be very, very clear. This is something that happens every year. And of course, I wish I was at my office so that I could show you guys the difference between the iPhone 16 and the 17 in a physical sense. But one thing I'll tell you is a lot of people are going to upgrade just based off of being a early adapter. Now, if you guys don't know, my name is Brandon Jones and I specialize in helping you guys earn an extra income stream. I have been a phone flipper and a product reseller for over a decade. Now, when it comes to a bunch of products dropping in December, November, October, and I want to make this very clear. Early adapter is somebody that is inclined to buying things first without testing them out. Mid adapter is somebody that will wait until the early adapter buys, see if they complain, and then get it. A late adapter is somebody that doesn't need to upgrade until their device or whatever gets older, right? Now, the reason I say all of this is because, you know, there's a bunch of people that place pre-orders and Apple knows what they're doing. That's why they have those announcements. They go on YouTube, make a great, beautiful video with great, beautiful presentations using big words because they understand that the consumers, they don't really care what they buy as long as you sell them on it, they will buy it. If you make very fancy terms and make it seem as if the phone is crafted by hand and made and sponsored by Maybach, they will get it, okay? That is a key, right? And people are gonna trade in phones because guess what? Hey, trading your iPhone 13 and what they say, trading your iPhone 13, you can get up to $1,100 off. The reason they're doing that is because a bunch of companies, including AT&T, Verizon, I was about to say Sprint, Xfinity, and other ones are going to be doing the buy an iPhone 17 on us. Buy an iPhone 17 Pro on us. All you have to do is trade in your device. Now, let's make this very clear on why they do that. So they do that because they understand that the reselling market is brutal. People will be able to pay for the iPhone 16s, 15s, and 14 Pro Maxes for way lower. So prime example, right now, the 16 Pro Max is going for around $850 if you want to buy and then flip. So flippers, you're going to get it for $850, probably flip it for like what, $950, $960, $1,000 if you have a good buyer, depending on the, and we're talking about 256. That's what we're talking about. Okay, that's great, right? But when the iPhone 17 Pro Max comes out, the iPhone 16 Pro Max is going to go down to like $650 that you would have to pay, and then you'll probably be able to resell it for $850, right? That's great. Now, why? Like, what do you mean? Why would I be able to resell it for higher but get it for lower? Because see, here's the thing. When people see others upgrading, they tend to want to do too. But the problem is a lot of people won't have the credit to get the iPhone 17. Therefore, they will take advantage of looking on OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, and places like that to see the people that get the iPhone 17, see if they actually kept their device and tried to sell it online. Now, if they sell it online, instead of trading it into their carrier, they're going to want okay amount, but they're not going to deem it as valuable as they do now because they have the new thing, right? So you want to be the person that takes advantage of that. And that's exactly why like phone prices tend to drop when you're trying to flip when new phones come out. Because people start to become happy that they're getting a new phone, and this then makes their evaluation of the older device less. So again, you're going to get more iPhone 13s, 14 Pro Maxes, 14 Pros, 15 Pro Maxes, and all of that. You're going to get those. Now let's talk about the 15 Plus and the 16 Plus. Right? Those models, they are going to be, in my opinion, now this is not facts right here, they are going to be interesting. I think that they're going to go down like really low cost of goods, but you'll probably be able to flip them for a good amount. But they've always been crappy. The pricing on the Plus model has always been the worst because consumers tend to think just because it has a bigger screen, it's worth more money. But buyers, wholesale buyers, international, seem to think just because it's a bigger screen doesn't mean it's worth more money. And I agree. Now let's talk about which phones sell and have strong value. Now, the phones that I would predict to have really good value. Now, I want to make this clear. It's a difference between value when it comes to cost of goods and value when it comes to profit. I mean profit. I don't mean what phone can you buy really, really low, but sell for only $50. No, I'm talking about the phones that you can buy really low and sell high. Okay. These are going to be these phones. Okay. Now the iPhone 16 Pro is going to be the phone I'm looking at. Now, I will be the first to tell you I don't want to pay over $500 for any phone. Why? Because my return needs to, if I pay $500 plus, be at least $200, because I'm kicking out a lot of capital to flip a device that may not be granting me as much profit as it probably would if I was to do an iPhone 14 Pro Max. So I have to be smart. I can't kick out a bunch of money when I could buy two phones instead of buying one if I was just going down a model, right? So the phone that I would say is the 16 Pro at first, because see, the Pro Max is still going to be high because people are still going to deem that a valuable phone. Now, the Pro model is a little interesting. Why? Because the Pro model seems to be the phone that has all the jam-packed features, but has a smaller screen. Now, when you are looking at the 17 Pro Max or the 17 Pro, you see that they have the same thing. Jam-packed features, bigger screen, but the screen is bigger now in the 17, all of them, right? The 16, you're gonna have a outlier. This is just a phone that's jam-packed but has a smaller screen. Now, stay with me. A lot of people like small screens. Not me, and probably not you. You probably like big screens, just like me. But there are a group of people with small hands that love small screens, okay? Not small, but regular screens. So they probably will be inclined to staying with their 16 Pro or trying to buy one. Not even just that, you'll have people that can't afford or don't have the credit to get the 16 Pro or to get the 17 Pro or the 17 Pro Max. So what do? They go online because they're like, well, instead of me paying monthly, I'll just go buy it one time. Now, there's going to be on the flip side, people that are looking to sell their 16 Pro because they knew that T-Mobile offered them a free iPhone 17 Pro, but they're tying them down for 3 years. They don't want to do that. So what they're going to do is pay a monthly and then sell their 16 Pro online, get the capital to make up for what they paid for the device. So they'll probably charge you anywhere between $450. They'll probably want $650, $700. You negotiate them down to $450, you're good. $430, you're good. And that's going to be a sweet buying spot. The next phone that I would say is going to be obviously the 14 Pro Max. The reason why I think the 14 Pro Max is good is because that's the device that is always seems to fluctuate. It's an older device, SIM, of course, eSIM, but it's a device that seems to have the island. It seems to have a similar feel to the 15, and it's not really worth upgrading unless you are having a problem with performance and you're looking for a phone that's going to be running Final Cut Pro, Adobe, and YouTube at the same time, right? The 14 is going to be, or the 14 Pro Max is going to be a phone you can get very low. I'm talking about less than $350. And lastly, let's talk about the iPhone 15. The outlier, the phone that nobody seems to have to get right now, because if you get the 14, you're close to the 15. If you get the 16, you're close to the 15, but better. So it's like, why would I even get the 15? The 15 don't get no love. They've been trying, I'm talking about phone stores, trying to get that phone away for free for the longest. Now, the reason you want to go ahead and get this 15 is because during the holiday, obviously there's going to be people looking to upgrade. There's a lot of people with the 14 models. There's a lot of people with the 13. And you could make them feel a whole lot better if you were to get the 15. Now, why am I not saying the 16? Well, the 16 is a great phone, but that phone is going to be a device that I feel is going to be higher than $250. But the 15, I think, is going to go around $200 cost of goods. You probably can sell that for around $300 to $350, and that's a good profit. Now let's talk about the iPhone 11s and the XRs and all that. Those phones at this point are not worth you flipping unless you are getting them in bulk. So maybe I'm getting 2 of them. I'll do that, right? I'll get 2 for $200. Like, I'm not going to break my bank to try to get an iPhone 11 anymore. Wow, the iPhone 11 has been one of the most popular models, and the 13 Pro Max and 13 Pro for the longest. But these phones are now becoming obsolete. I think their days are now numbered. I do think that they're going to run out of style as those phones, they're falling a little too behind. And that's okay, because every phone has their dying date. And I think the 13 Pro Max is having its dying date, and I love that phone. One of the best phones Apple has ever made. But again, we can't stick with all of them. Okay, so I just told you guys exactly how I personally think about what phones are worth what, but now I need to talk about how do you actually sell these devices. Sorry guys, I had to change my scenery. It was getting way too dark in there. But one of the biggest things that I would say is making sure you find the right platform and also the right system. A lot of people, when it comes to building, growing, and trying to amplify their phone flipping business, they think that they need to use ads, as of course everybody has been told. But one thing I'll tell you is that you need to make sure that you are getting these devices from people that don't value them as valuable as they're told. Now, I wanted to be careful about my verbiage with that because I wanted to make sense. So when it comes to people, they tend to always think a phone that they have is valuable, right? But what about that person that just got that iPhone, that new one, and they want to just recoup some of the money back that they invested? Where are those people usually listing? And I have statistical proof, and I know for a fact because I've worked in stores where we have sold newer devices, and I've watched customers have people list phones right in front of me, and I'll tell you it's not one of the platforms I even usually talk about. It's Facebook. Facebook is usually where individuals that don't know where to post a device go to post phones. And these type of devices are kind of they're usually being sold by people that are not happy unless they get their investment back. And this is something, again, that could be good or bad. But this is a platform I would target for people that don't know the value of devices but want to sell them. And this is a platform that I think you guys could get a lot of conversion on. I wouldn't use Facebook ads. What I would do is I would simply just start giving people offers. Now, understand there's going to be a high competitive approach when it comes to people trying to buy phones on Facebook, because you got a lot of phone stores that already know what I know, right? That phones are going to be for the taking very soon. So what you want to also utilize is OfferUp. That platform is always going to be beneficial because if you use OfferUp, you're literally going to be able to meet up with people that they have the same hustler mentality that we do, right? So those are the two platforms I would utilize for you to be able to buy these devices for as least as possible. And I think one day I'm going to do this week a walkthrough of how I would actually start the negotiation, how I would talk about it, and also how much I would actually be offering people for these devices. Now, what's the strategy to actually getting these phones now and selling them now, and then after selling them, just redoing it? Now, if you're somebody that has flipped phones before, you know how important it is to not only be consistent, but also to make sure that you're buying phones for the appropriate amount, right? Because see, if you just start buying phones and you're just trying to spend money, sometimes you can make $20 profit, sometimes you can make a $50 profit, but you don't usually make a consistent amount, right? How do I actually make sure and manage to get phones for the amount that is actually reasonable? Now, remember, I didn't say a steal, right? Because when you start getting phones for steals, you're getting closer to being scammed. Because you start getting one and you start thinking that, oh man, I hit a lick. And then you get another one. You're like, oh yeah, I'm that man. And then you try another time and then they catch you slipping like a transmission. And this is one of the worst things that you could actually have done to you. So what I would say is to make sure that when you are actually getting these devices, that you're listing these devices on platforms, but also you're buying these phones in bulk to avoid having to pay high pricing. Because when you're paying high pricing, you are losing. Because no matter what, if you're buying a single device or you're buying a device that you can probably get, you can get a good little few views with regular consumers, you still are losing because you are doing a bunch of work traveling to somebody and you only have one device that you just spent $300 for when you could have just got 5 devices that, or let's be real, not 5 because not everybody gets those type of bulk orders. Let's say 2 iPhone 13s you could have got for $500, but instead you decided to get one iPhone 14 Pro Max for $350. It just doesn't make sense. You can do better. And the way you do better is by buying in bulk and negotiating in bulk. Because usually when you negotiate in bulk, people forget how to do the math. They could be caught off guard. And when they're caught off guard, then you benefit and you capture that lead and you also close. Now, when you get the device, you have two ways that you can actually sell this. You can sell this by going to a consumer. That's somebody like you and me that dictates the worth based upon the convenience or based upon the amount that I'm willing to pay, or you can actually sell that device to a wholesale buyer. Now, wholesale buyers are buyers that frequently get these devices on a frequent basis. They only go by market value and they tend to be the fastest turnaround, right? That means you can convert immediately instead of having to wait for consumers to feel like buying. Now, this is a benefit for those that want to make profit fast. Now, the profit will not be as much as it would be with a regular consumer, and that would be why you would sell to a consumer. Now, I recommend selling to consumers when it comes to the first iPhone 17 drop, because if you sell to consumers, you're capitalizing on people that are like, dang, I can't get the iPhone 17, but I need to get something new. You can capitalize off of that and you can still get that conversion and make that money. All right, guys, so that is going to be my action plan and exactly how I would go about it. And guys, I really appreciate you guys so much for watching. I, again, want to continue to push out this content as much as I can, no matter where I'm at, because I appreciate you guys and I have your back like a bra strap. And if you guys don't know, go to Hustlertaughtme.com, join the Hustler community, because guess what? You do get that eBay and Mercari automation for $87 plus the phone flipping price list for $87 plus unlimited book calls for $87 plus. You get the phone flipping classes 9 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday for $87. Definitely take advantage of it. I can't wait to work with you guys, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace.